Hey guys, so in this video I'll be discussing some of the best Injustice teams that you guys can use, and with the 2.1 update we did get some new characters, and I'll be discussing some teams that you guys can use with the new characters as well as countering those new characters. So we had two Jokers, Unhinged and Hinged, with a new Harley Quinn and Deadshot. Now, comparing these characters, a great team is to use Deadshot, Harley Quinn, and Unhinged Joker, as you can see here. Now, Unhinged Joker is particularly powerful because of how his passive means that he'll not only do a random effect from his special one, but after he defeats an opponent's team member, he drives them insane and they will fight for you on your team with reduced health. So obviously, you want Unhinged Joker to be really strong and make sure that he's the main offensive character on your team. Now, Deadshot's great because he does an off-screen assist. Now, yeah, you have a bigger sweet spot to get max damage, and which is bumped up from 200 to 250. But his off-screen assist is what particularly makes him powerful, because if you have Joker, Unhinged, or Harley Quinn with maxed out crit chance and crit damage, that means they can automatically get an unblocked second or first special that can really turn the tide in your favor and devastate your opponent. Now, what I would suggest, the gears that I would suggest giving these characters would be the following. Now, if you want really good gear to give the Joker, since he's your main offensive card, you want him to be fighting a lot in the game. The first thing I would recommend is that you max out his crit chance and his crit damage. Afterwards, I'd suggest giving him the 4th world gear. The 4th world gear will ensure that he stays in the game as long for the maximum amount of time. On top of all that, he'll heal with the special one. And on top of all that, along with healing with the special one, special one's strong. It'll do a great amount of damage to the opponent's team, and the random special effect that will make him absolutely insane as a character. And overall, he'll be lasting on your team. He'll be the main anchor card. Now, you could give Deadshot the following gears, but Deadshot's more of a, like, his off-screen assist will be what's more powerful. So if you want to give Deadshot the best gears, I'd suggest giving him power boosting gears such as League of Assassins Adept Knives and the Ivy Stick for an amazing power gain, and you can back him up with Rachel Skimtar. So now you have 1 bar starting power backed up by 2 amazing power boosting gears that add up to a total of 50% power generation increase. So backed up by the great power generation you give Deadshot, he's also going to have other things working in his favor. Now, if he's off screen for majority of the battle and if Unhinged Joker's battling, while Unhinged Joker's battling, Deadshot's going to build up his power. 50% boost is going to help him get to his super move, Assassin's Code, and do 120 his damage. That will obviously be amazing, and he'll do over 100,000 points of damage with his super move and devastate your opponent. Now, Harley Quinn, I'd still suggest giving her the standard gear set, which means you give her the revolver she has, because you need to give her the revolvers. These revolvers really make Harley Quinn an amazing character on her own, and when you give her these revolvers, she becomes a great character. She's already a good character on her own, but the damage boost adds to special 1, which is already strong for her, and it's 3 hits. Then you have a stun chance on special 1 as well, which definitely puts it in your favor, and 100% heals the team, 25% on special 2. So that would make it a great team. Now, what I would also suggest is you give her the LexCorp helmet V2 and the LexCorp chest armor V2 with Harley Quinn. Now, you have a 99% life drain on special 2 in case you get off the dynamite that she throws. You have a crit chance in basic attacks, and reflect all special for blocking ensures that she'll stay in the game as long as possible. On top of all that, blocking stops 40% more damage, giving Harley Quinn even more of a tankier character like attribute. Crit boosting will just give her more offense power, and the daunt added on the special is a bonus. So that means you will constantly disrupting your opponent's strategy, forcing them to tag out, doing all sorts of different things. And that's why I'd suggest giving Harley Quinn the following gear. So when you use this team, Joker with the 4th world gear, Harley Quinn with the standard gear set, and Deadshot with Rachel Skimtar and 2 power boosting gears, you'll ensure that you have a strong team. But it's important to ensure that you have crit chance and crit damage maxed out on Joker Unhinged, so that you can really get the full effect of Deadshot's passive, which means you'll get unblocked first or second special, and that will really devastate your opponent. And with Harley Quinn on your team, you can always heal your team in case you're running low on health, or if you want extra power, in case you're facing someone like the Green Lantern team. And that what makes this team so amazing. Now, you can also use Unhinged Joker. Now, again, his passive means a random effect with his special one, but he receives 10% less damage and deals % more damage for each of the new characters from the 2011 update that are on your team. So I suggest teaming up with definitely either Joker Unhinged, Harley Quinn, or Deadshot. You need to one of those two characters, and you can make him like a customizable card. You can have two Jokers on your team, but I wouldn't suggest using this team. I'd more or less suggest using the Deadshot team, because this team is a lot more effective than the standard Unhinged Joker team. This team will be amazingly effective and can really devastate opponents. Now, if you don't have this, because these characters are hard to get and promoting them is really tough, especially Joker Unhinged. He's only offered as an online reward challenge, and getting him can be really tough. So if you want characters that can counter him, I'd suggest sticking with the classic teams that devastated the opponent. So I'd say if you want to use a classic team, because remember, in September 2016, people aren't using the Lucid Bane stun team. So if you want to really get an advantage over, you can use the classic team, which was Arkham Knight, Harley Quinn, Batgirl, and Antimatter Sinestro. Remember, this team was great when Sinestro was released, but it's not as popular now because Dawn of Justice update and the new 2.11 update, we got new characters that became more popular, but not necessarily effective. Now, we did get these 3 gears, but I wouldn't suggest using these 3 gears because they're not as effective as the 4th world gear. The Killer Croc companion card, you know, that's still pretty good, but doesn't compare with the 4th world gear. Anyways, if you really want to use this team, I suggest giving League of Assassins Adept Knives. Of course, you want to use Racial Scimitar so you can get the additional bar of power, and then it's just giving another League of Assassins, either the Blade or the Hood, doesn't matter which one you use. As long as you have 2 gears from the League of Assassins set, backed up by Racial Scimitar, you know that Antimatter Sinestro is going to be the main anchor of your team. So giving these gears to Antimatter Sinestro, then you give Batgirl the standard 4th world gear set, which means the 4th world helmet, chestplate, and the 4th world godly mace. It'll make that girl a strong character, even though she's already the strong character. Then you back up Arkham Knight Harley Quinn with her own gear set, which is, you know, the standard gear set for Harley Quinn, the same gear set that I previously mentioned. You can give her this, and then the 2 LexCorp gears, the helmet and the chestplate. And then I'd suggest giving her her own dual revolvers, because dual revolvers have got to be one of the best character-specific gears in the entire game. This will help heal your team and keep you on track. This is a great counter to the Unhinged Joker team, because not only will it disrupt strategy, but it'll force them to tag out, forcing Deadshot to come in. Once Deadshot's in, Sinestro can knock out Deadshot, and that means the game turns in your favor. Because now they rely on the Joker, Unhinged, and Harley Quinn, but you have 3 characters. And remember, if you really want to get the full advantage of Sinestro, the Blade on its own is good because it adds dodge damage over time on the special. But what I would suggest giving is the Hood as well, because the Hood on its own is great because it has it disables specials on 40% chance to disable enemy specials, and that could really turn the tide in your favor in case you're facing a Joker that has a special loaded up, and that Joker is able to instantly fire off that special before you can tap your Sinestro for a special. Remember, the League of Assassins Adept Blade is one of the best gears for Sinestro in this, because it does a area effect, 50% area effect from special 1, backed up by a 40% damage boost of special 1, means you'll be dealing insane amounts of damage to the characters that are not tagged in, and they'll just help you pace up faster. This was a classic team, but it's not as popular now, but it's extremely effective now. Another team that I would suggest, if you really want to counter these new teams, I would suggest using the Lucid Bane team. That was a classic team as well, where it was right before the Dawn of Justice update that this team was very popular, but with Dawn of Justice update, it wasn't as popular. I suggest using Lucid Bane, Batgirl, and you can use the Arkham Knight Harley Quinn, but you can use the Aries as well. In the meantime, what I would do for this particular team would be to give Aries gears that amp up his second special. So we all know that Aries' second special is one of the best in the game, and in fact it's a sensational second special. I'd suggest giving him Soul Taker Sword, the IB Stick, and Racial Scimitar to ensure that Aries has a loaded up second special that's packed up by IB Stick Boost, which is going to give him a 30% boost of special to add damage over time to your opponent, and at the same time 50% life drain from a massive 93,000 to 100,000 damage inflicting special 2, and you'll get damage drained from defeated enemies, which a special 2 will almost guarantee. With that said, Batgirl would still have her standard 4th world gear because she would be an anchor character. Remember how she adds 1 bar of power? Well, that comes in handy because now the Cloak of Destiny is given to Lucid Bane. You give him other gear as well. You give him the League of Assassins, Adept Knight, and Leg Scope Gauntlets, and with this classic gear combination, Lucid Bane will knock out the team single-handedly. If he doesn't knock out the team, you still have backup in Aries. And while Aries is being second special, you tag in Batgirl afterwards, and then use Lucid Bane, who's going to use his Cloak of Destiny. But let's say you tag him with Lucid Bane and you don't get the stun. Well, you block with him, you tag him out, you use Batgirl, and you use Aries. Remember, Lucid Bane has a 40% damage, power generation boost because of the League of Assassins Adept Knives, and that means that he'll build up to his first special even faster. So definitely suggest going ahead with this team because it's a great team you guys can use. And remember the classic Arkham Batman team, it's great as well. You use Arkham Knight Batman, give him the 4th world gear, and remember what you have to choose when you use Arkham Knight Batman is immune to crit damage. As long as you choose immune to crit damage, your team is going to stay really safe, because immune to crit damage, what's going to happen is that you're not going to be under the threat of the Deadshot off-screen assist or the critical damage that Unhinged Joker gives you. At the same time, give Dawn of Justice Batman, give him the LexCorp gear. Remember, his passive is amazing, how he can instantly block or get away from these devastating specials. Now, if you have another idea that you guys can try with Batman, instead of giving him the LexCorp gauntlets and the entire LexCorp gear, well, you can't give him the LexCorp gauntlets, but if you want to make him similar to Lucid Bane, I suggest adding in Cloak of Destiny and then adding him Batman's Cowl, because what it's going to do here is that Batman's Cowl, wrong gear. So Batman's Cowl, and what this is going to do is basically change him into a Lucid Bane type character, because this will make him a stunning character. Remember, this Cloak of Destiny adds 20% stun chance on tagging, backed up by a 40% stun chance on tagging because of Batman's Cowl, and a 30% stun tagging because of LexCorp Gauntlets. Although these might not stack, it's still great because now you have a Batman who's going to stun the enemy, and because of his insane damage stat, which exceeds 60,000, in fact it comes out at 62,640, Gotham Justice or Explosive Battering will be insanely strong. Gotham Justice, for example, will do 248,000 points of damage. That's enough to knock out any online enemy that you guys can potentially face. On top of all that, his passive makes him an already amazing character. If you want, you guys can use Harley Quinn on your team as a secondary character, or you can use Darkseid on your team. Darkseid as a character who's going to be, you can use him as a damage over time specialist. With that said, his passive already gives him a huge boost in damage over time. You give him 2 copies of the LexCorp gear backed up by the Ivy Stick, he'll be a sensational character to play as. And this team will be amazing, but you have to remember to use Arkham Knight Batman and make sure that you use immune to critical damage. Now, another great team that you guys can use would be the Red Sun team. Give Red Sun Green Lantern, or Red Sun Wonder Woman, and Red Sun Superman will be an insane team to use. Definitely try that team out, guys. That Red Sun team is one of the best right now because people are relying on crits. The reliance on crit means you have to get characters that are immune to crit. Red Sun Green Lantern's immunity to critical damage makes him a sensational character. On top of all that, the boosts that the Red Sun team gives each other is one of the best in the entire game. So definitely try this team out, guys. These are some of the greatest teams that you guys can use for this particular format. Obviously, if you really want to use a strong team, you can try using some of the stronger, more really strong characters that are on the team. I would suggest using, if you want really strong characters, use this Hawkgirl team, give Harley Quinn, and then what I'd suggest using is using the new Superman character which was Injustice 2 Superman. Using Injustice 2 Superman with this team is insane because Hawkgirl reduces your cooldown time. Then Injustice 2 Superman's already amazing stats are backed up by the fact that each time you tag him in, he takes no damage from the first special received and gets 5% health and 5% damage per promotion. But the fact that he takes no damage from the first special received is definitely a strategy buster. Then you have animated Harley Quinn, which what you do with her is, again, you give her the standard gear set, so in case your team's running low on health, which will probably happen to Hawkgirl characters, you can always heal your team up quickly and effectively. And that's why this team is so effective. Harley Quinn's gear is amazing. The reason I say it's amazing is because of how well her gear specific ability reflects her second special. It's great because you can potentially heal your team 50%. 50% healing your team entire health is a huge advantage. Then you have Injustice 2 Superman backed up with the 4th world gear. Will be an insane team. So you guys definitely try these teams out. And yeah, and of course we're gonna get Earth 2 Solomon Grundy soon as well in the game, and that's what's gonna change up the game as well. I've already mentioned a few teams that you guys can use with Earth 2 Grundy, but again, you can just use the same exact team because Earth 2 Grundy's passive also revolves around taking in and taking out, and taking out chance to decay a piece of gear for the entire match. Frank came up with a 4th world gear, and he'll be an insane character as well. So guys, my favorite team, what I personally like to use, is still the Batman team. I love using the Batman team because it is so effective as a overall team. It's devastating. Batman characters are the strongest in the game as present moment. There's no other character that's as strong as Batman unless you want to count Injustice 2 Superman. Yeah, sure. Injustice 2 Superman is a strong character, and he has the potential to be a better character than some of the Batman characters mentioned. So if you really want to use like an ultra strong team, I suggest using this Batman and the Superman team. Give Batman the 4th world gear. You can give him the stunning ability, and give Injustice to Superman the LexCorp gear. Non-Justice Batman again would get the stunning gear, as I mentioned here. Injustice to Superman would get the LexCorp gear, and Arkham Knight Batman of course would get the legendary 4th world gear, and that will make this team a great team. That's the way you can counter the new Unhinged Joker team. Just make sure that Unhinged Joker isn't the one to knock out your character, because then they'll be fighting on the opposite team. So that's the video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe.